What is going on, family? It's Jason, Archangel Ministries. Bit more of a delay in me posting the second video than I originally intended, but is what it is. Suffice to say, due to everything going on in the nation, my contracts have been very busy. But as I sit here tonight at this particular post, I've been racking my brain trying to figure out the most important information I can give you in the short time that we have. Because every day, people become more concerned, more panicked. There's a spirit of fear. It's just ebbing, pulsing, spreading over America right now. Any of you that live in a city that's been affected by the virus like Memphis has, or Nashville, other places, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Some places in America are a little bit behind the lag and further back than others. However, it's spreading. Give you an example here in Memphis. Yesterday, the reports that I got were that there had been 4 cases. 4 established in the Shelby County area. I go through and I check them tonight on my way into work. 40. Yeah, I'm on that 4 to 40. You know what I'm saying? The mayor of the city actually shut down all non-essential businesses over in Lakeland, which is just on the outskirts. It's only a matter of time before the rest of the city has the same problem. People are panicking. I mean, the Kroger parking lot was full, beyond full this morning when I was on my way home, because people were freaking out. They're panic buying. Yet again, unfortunately, it's becoming normal. With that increased fear, you have 2 basic classes of people. You have the haves, you have the have-nots. The haves are those that have had money to put back. They've saved up for a while. And those are the ones you see out at Costco, Sam's, places like that, spending $300, $400, $500, $600 at a time on getting supplies and hoarding things and trying to take them to the house. Not knocking them. It's good to be prepared, but if all you're buying is Mountain Dew and toilet paper, you got a problem. Mountain Dew's not going to sustain you, and you can't eat toilet paper. It's a fact. But then you have the other class, which is your have-nots. Those that are dependent on the system, dependent on food stamps, dependent upon things like that. And then you have those that don't even have that. The true have-nots. So what you're seeing, panic is taking hold. And depending upon who you are and what's going on is going to depend on how you react. For some people, it's panic buying. Freaking out. Getting all the TP and water that you can. But the others, the have-nots, the ones that don't have the money, that don't have the opportunity to go out and splurge and spend $500, $600, $700 at a time to make sure they're stocked up for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months. Fear eventually starts to creep in. Some of those people have kids. What are their kids going to eat? Some of those people are just your basic run-of-the-mill thugs. worthless lowlives, wolves. They don't care about anybody but themselves. They'll do whatever they have to gain whatever it is they desire, including hurting others. So what does this boil us down to? Well, that means that you have two classes of criminals. Those that are acting out of necessity. Those that are acting out of lust. Which is the more dangerous? Depends on the situation. There's an old saying, the man you should fear most in war is the one who is in love with peace. For the most part, this is true. Once you put a man to the brink and you've robbed him of things that he has, or everything that he's built his life on that he desires, you take away his money, you take away his ability to provide, you take away, in essence, the security he's given his family. I can't think of a more dangerous foe than one that'll reach out and do cruel and terrible things for those that he loves. I know that I would. Alright, now having said that, there's some things we need to establish. I've been trying to figure out, for the most part, what type of information is going to be most important to you. Body language, how to read people, that kind of thing. And to be honest, this ever-evolving situation we have going on in America complicates the matters. Because under a normal circumstance, most people, for the most part, their faces are generally exposed and you can read facial expressions and things like that, but we're reaching a point where people are going to be wearing face coverings, whether it be bandanas, actual, like N95 masks, and things of that nature when they're out in public. So the question becomes, when you can't see the facial expressions to the full extent, how do you read the person? How do you know what their intentions are? Well, that's going to boil down to the level of criminal, to be honest with you. You have your novice, you have your experienced. The novice is going to be most fearful, so they're going to be the most prone to making mistakes. A lot of them, it's going to be easy to catch on if you just know some basic tips. Experienced, that's a bit of a different monster depending upon the level of experience they have. Reason being is fear. Most novice criminals have a degree of fear in them. And that fear is what causes them to be given away. Reason being is because they have no knowledge. They don't know how to carry themselves in a situation. They don't know how to spin a web of lies and deceit that can lure you and drag you along for the ride. Sorry. It's alright. We're okay. Sorry for the interruption. Okay, but a lot of times you can see this in your basic gas station surveillance type videos. If you watch enough of them, you see two different types, right? You'll see the ones that'll go in there and they'll be fidgeting, they'll pick this up and they'll go over and they'll pick this up and they'll look at it and then they'll, stumble over themselves, so to speak, and then they will walk up and try to pull out their weapon and usually, get it caught or something along those lines. And even if they do manage to pull it, they make the mistake of inaccurate distancing. You know, they're the ones, they want to put the gun straight in somebody's face, you know, point blank range. They're too stupid to realize that they've just handed themselves over to anyone that has a basic knowledge of self-defense and disarming techniques. But this is what a novice does. They bolster themselves and react out of pure, raw emotion. There's no intelligence to it whatsoever. These are the ones that, had someone walked up to them in the middle of the store and confronted them, they would have folded and they would have left. Just like that gentleman that, you know, got stopped from robbing that restaurant when I was in there, you know, a couple weeks ago. Novice. No plan, no nothing. Although he was more intelligent than most because he didn't want to risk being shot over something stupid. Unfortunately, we're facing a time in America where that's not going to be the case. You're about to see the ignorant and the low IQ criminals come out in droves. And unfortunately, they're going to give way and eventually become puppets and pawns for those that are the master class, those with experience, those with knowledge. Unfortunately, this is the direction America's headed in. I hate to say it, but it is. Now, you've also seen the gas station videos where criminal, you know, they come in nice and calm, and they got their little jacket on or their shirt, you know, kind of a longer shirt, something like that. They'll go in and they'll go to the back, they'll pick up a soda, pick up a bag of chips, and they walk straight up to the teller, put their items down, you know, and they step back while he rings it up. While he's ringing it up, they pull the gun. They never put the gun directly in the guy's face, though. They always hold it back, you know, at least 1.5 feet, 2 feet, sometimes 3 feet away from the guys. They give orders and commands. Reason being, they have experience. They know what they're doing. That makes all the difference. This one's calculated. He's been in this situation before, so he knows how to act. He doesn't use emotion, so he doesn't react on an emotional level. It's all nothing but logic and raw intent with them. Okay, so how do you tell the two apart? In a situation, well, like we're facing here in America. You know? The eyes are what gives it away. Well, that and the hands. Whenever you're in a situation, one, you want to be able to see the person's hands so you can figure out what they're doing. Are they fidgeting? Are they doing a lot of, you know, this stuff, being nervous? Are they playing with their cell phone? Their eyes. Are they solid? Are they focused? Do they seem calm? Or are they darting everywhere, looking like they're about to have an anxiety attack? You know, a lot of times that is what happens before someone acts. You know, they get that brief window of nervousness. You know, that's what you really have to watch out for. The eyes are always a dead giveaway. You know, the hands, some people, you know, they'll play with their cell phones or play games on that just so they can distract themselves, calm things down. You know, however, the elites, the career criminals, the one that knows what they're doing, they're not going to show emotion. They've already calculated it all out. They know how they want to do it. It's already pre-planned. You know, things have a set order that's supposed to go in. So they go in already knowing what it is they're going to do. You know, so their eyes are calm. You know, they don't make the same mistake of showing the nervous reactions that everybody else does. However, if you watch close enough, eventually they will glitch. You know, someone approaches them and talks to them and stuff. They'll carry on a good story for a minute, but they're always trying to get away. You know, they're trying to back away from the individual or whatnot. If they're pressed too much, they will have an emotional response. And they'll pull their weapon or panic or freak out. But that's because their plan's going awry and not going the way that they wanted it to. It's not going according to their own personal private layout. Now, with the introduction of masks, you know, used to be someone came in wearing a mask, you kind of guess that they're up to something nefarious. Something's shady here. But in a situation like this, where people are wearing N95 masks and things like that out of concern, well, you've given the criminal element something to hide behind. You've given them a legitimate reason to disguise and mask their face from surveillance and other things. So that places you in a situation where all that you have to rely on at that point is by reading body movements. And by looking at the eyes, seeing if you can catch a glitch in their story as they're talking. But sometimes you're not going to have time to do that. There's never a 100% positive, oh, I'm guaranteeing you if you do this step, and this step, that you're going to find out who it is every single time and protect everybody around you. Unfortunately, that's not the case. I wish I could say that it was. Even as well as I read people and do stuff that freaks my wife out all the time like that, I make mistakes. I don't care how good you are, you can make a mistake. So body movement to watch out for. Anything that indicates that someone is nervous. Now, granted, that's complicated in the times that we're living in for the simple fact that everybody is a little on edge right now. However, the majority of them still have a manner of calmness about them, for the most part. Watch the eyes, watch the hands, watch the mannerisms. Use caution around those that are nervous for no reason. Use even more caution around those that are dodgy and shifty, ones whose stories are constantly changing. Alright, that's going to cover it for this particular one. We'll get more in depth later, I promise. I'm trying to cut this up in small snippets at a time. I don't want to overload anybody, because there's a lot that goes into reading body language. I could go very, very, very in depth with it, but we're gonna kind of build this up gradually. Next couple of videos I am gonna release a couple more well, hopefully I will release 1 or 2 tomorrow, and then another one on Monday. We are going to start getting into weapons, things of that nature, firearms, that kind of stuff. Main reason being, there's a lot of new gun owners out here right now, that have panic bought all kinds of toys. And not knocking anyone watching these videos, but some of y'all that have just bought this stuff do not have the same backgrounds as a lot of gun owners, and have no clue as to what you're doing as far as operation and even basics of the firearms you've purchased goes. So I am going to cover some at least basics as far as firearms goes in one of the upcoming videos, and we will go deeper on that subject too, but I'm trying to give you what you need to have offhand first, because I don't care how much training you've had with a gun, how many targets you've shot at, etc., etc., etc. That gun's not going to do you any good if you can't identify the threat first. So that's what our main focus is on, is identifying the threat through situational awareness and reading body language, and then we'll move on to defensive tactics. Alright guys, hopefully this video was helpful. Hopefully I didn't rant too much or loop myself, which unfortunately I have a habit of doing. So enjoy the video. I will be back soon with some more goodies for you. Alright, Archangel, I'm out.